They range from the bizarre and outrageous to out-and-out insanity. Short video clips that are sent from person to person throughout the internet. You probably have had some show up in your own inbox. It's a phenomenon that some are calling viral video. With dozens of websites featuring some of the most passed-around clips on the net, these viral videos are getting more exposure than ever. One site that's gaining enormous popularity is YouTube.
Broadcast yourself, gut buckets. This is Big Orange Couch, the 90s Nickelodeon podcast where we talk about all things 90s Nickelodeon. My name's Joey.
I'm Andrew.
Hey, I'm back. It's Vince.
And this is episode number 256. We're going back in time again for the year in review 2005.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vince, I think this was your pick, right? Like you wanted to do 2005?
It was my pick.
This
was a great year. Did anybody else feel that way? This was a good year.
It does feel like I feel like it's going back up from 2004 was almost a low point for me in a lot of ways. But going over this, this feels like we're getting back in action.
Oh man, the 21st century back in action. Yeah, I don't know. I felt very lukewarm doing the research, but there was a few last minute things I remembered that might tip it towards being a pretty good year. I think culturally it's kind of a boring year.
Wow, interesting. I don't know. We'll have different opinions on this one now.
Did you look at the dinosaur count too, or
no?
That's your main indicator.
Yeah, always. Well, before we get going, we want to thank everybody who's been reaching out about Patreon and joining. Vince, of course, thank you for joining us on Patreon. Last week's episode is up. It was a fun one. That is the Tale of the Last Dance, an episode we've been talking for years about doing. We finally got to cross it off the list. I thought it was a bunch of fun. And one thing we did is we had a few drinks as we talked. Andrew, are you having a drink again?
I am currently, yeah.
What are you drinking?
I know, I've been accused of not sounding drunk. I'm drinking Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey, okay, back at it. I think people are just impressed at how well you hold yourself.
I feel like I just have a line where all of a sudden I'll go way too far. I almost don't have a slow burn to getting drunk. Suddenly I'll just be way too drunk.
Yeah. Well, I feel like for maybe the listener it could be hard to tell, but I can tell by your there's an uptick a little bit more in your in your how much you talk.
Sure.
It's ever so slight, but noticeable to me. Vince, did you drink?
I am currently having a nice beer. I just got home from work, so you bet your ass I'm having a drink.
Very good. And I'm back with a screwdriver in hand. Vince, I'm ready to make fun of your picks.
Oh, I'm going to get massacred. I already know it. All the listeners out there are going to be like, what the hell is wrong with it?
Vince loves the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He just can't shut up about it.
Oh, it's on my list, but I don't know if I love it.
It's on my list too, so.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I like it.
No, you like it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're not getting into movies yet, but you liked the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I'm not claiming it to be superior to the original, but I do like it for what it is.
This is
going to trigger me because I saw that thing in the movie theaters. So.
I saw it too, but when I left, I was like, "That was terrible."
Yeah, I'm
off balance here.
Part of it might be that I think it was on HBO, maybe some station. It was on a lot where I saw it a few times in a short period of time, and it just felt like each time I liked it a little bit more.
Okay.
I mean, there's some
Andrew.
there's some good
Andrew,
funny moments.
how much Irish whiskey have you had?
I'm about to put it on later tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew's like, all right, can we hurry this up now that I'm... before we get into anything, Vince, who were you in 2005?
Oh my God. Let's see. I was 15 going on 16.
Okay.
So it was kind of like that whole teenage awakening year for me. You know, you're going out late with your friends. You are dabbling in things that would embarrass your parents.
Right.
And it was just a great year. I started going out more, and like I'm here in New York, so all the clubs would have tea nights.
Oh.
I mean, to be 16 years old and you're dancing with foam, I'm pretty sure that's why I never got COVID. Like, I think I was exposed to everything possible, and now I'm immune to it all.
Yeah.
So start driving too. I mean, you can't go wrong with you bring your car to the high school and you just think you're stinking. It's like, you loser. You're driving your grandmother's 95 Chrysler Concorde. Like, you stink.
But so I'm trying to envision here. So 16-year-old Vincenzo is like legitimately going to Manhattan to clubs?
Yep, Manhattan and Long Island. Yep.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's very different. It's like it's an interesting for a Midwestern pair like us to envision going to a nightclub in New York City.
Yeah, they had specific teen nights, and it was great. I mean, and as scary as it sounds, like just picture your high school hallway, and there's me. You have like your boots on, your designer jeans, button-down shirt, a scarf, and a Starbucks Frappuccino with puka shell necklace. That was Vince. Like, that was me.
I need to rewind the tape here for a moment, Vince. You said scarf?
Oh, yeah. I used to rock the scarf that matched the shirt.
Wow. I love it, Vince. I love it.
A little bit of product in your hair, so it's spiked up a little bit.
Holy cow. I love it. Yeah. Andrew, 2005, anything stick out to you?
Working, college. That was pretty much like my life at the time.
Yeah. What job were you rocking at the time?
This was the record store.
Record store.
That's pretty good.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I remember like if I want to set the stage here, George W. Bush had just been reelected, which made me really sad. And then my relationship of 2.5 years ended at the end of 2004, and that made me really sad. It's just a sad year.
Wow. So I'm coming in all pumped for this year. It's like, oh, well, this year,
While Vince is partying in Manhattan, I'm in my dorm room listening to Elliott Smith, thinking that maybe I'll be alone forever.
Worst year of Joey's life so far.
It was pretty bad, but there was a major shift in the fall of that year. Like the fall, things really picked up.
All right, so you ended on a good note then.
Yeah. But that's good. We have a spectrum here. We got people working, we got people partying, and we got people suffering from crippling depression. It's all there.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I'm getting depressed just thinking this was 18 years ago, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Did it hit you?
Yeah, that hit me. 2005 can vote.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's just something.
I've seen them try to make change when I go to Taco Bell, and I'm not too sure I want them behind that ballot just
yet. Andrew, what are our categories for today?
As usual, we're talking movies, TV shows, albums, songs, video games, books, and events.
There's one category here I'm real excited about.
Ooh.
You want to take a guess?
I'm thinking about it, but
it's definitely not events because Bush got reelected, so we can cross that one off the list for Joey.
Vince, were you a Bush guy? I won't hate you, I promise.
Not that I was a Bush guy. I think I was really too young to even understand the election back then.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I was a history buff and still kind of am. So for me, whoever won, like, oh, I'm going to watch the inauguration. I'm going to watch the returns come in. Even to this day, I kind of don't know where I fall politically, to tell you the truth.
That's interesting. No, yeah, I mean, I relate to that. I also am kind of a junkie as far as just following all that stuff. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll get to the category when we get to it. But do you guys want to jump in?
Oh, yeah.
Vincenzo, where shall we start?
Let's get books out of the way.
That's my category.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. You'll have a great kickoff now.
It's my favorite category today.
First time ever?
This is your favorite? Definitely. First time ever that it's my favorite category. But there's just like 3 or 4 books here that I'm pretty passionate about.
Wow. Oh. I have an unusual, well, maybe not unusually. I have a small selection.
I wonder if we're going to match on a book, Joey.
I bet you we do. There's 2 here. There's 2 here I think we could match on.
Oh boy. All right, let's see. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Place your bets.
Well, Andrew, get us kicked off.
Well, my favorite book for the year was A Feast for Crows. George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones, the 4th book in the series. I've talked about these before. They're so good. Like I've never read any book that's so dense that reads so quickly. I just love the pace of these, and especially for these fantasy books that have 1,000 crazy names to remember. Somehow it just flows. So yeah, love it.
Who's it by?
George R.R. Martin.
Oh, of course. Okay. Okay. Wow. Have you read that one, Vince?
No, I mean, you would think, because I watched, Game of Thrones and all that stuff, but I never sat down to even read the books.
Very good. Just really fun.
And when you say thick, how thick is this book? Is this like an Audible book?
Each one is 1,000 pages.
Oh, crap. Okay.
So it's unbelievably long, but seriously easy to read somehow, at least to me.
Okay. All right. I the George R.R. Martin stuff is just not in my arena, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you don't really read any fantasy or anything like that.
That's true. Yeah. All right, Vince, book.
Well, I have 2. So I think maybe other people will have this one, but I'm pretty sure Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince came out that year.
Yes.
So that's definitely one of my picks. That was probably the first Harry Potter book I got on the day it was released, as opposed to just getting it weeks or months down the road.
Yeah.
And then my second pick is 1776.
Ooh. Oh, so you got 2 favorites here. 2 favorites.
That's my 2 favorites here. Do we not match? We don't match on 1776, Joey?
I'm not doing my picks yet. It's your picks.
Oh, well. So yeah, 1776 was another one. I was a big history buff. Easily my favorite class throughout high school. So I definitely picked that up. I would read that on my lunch break like a real geek. In addition to books, I do remember what I was reading that year in school, and I just want to give a shout out to The Crucible by Arthur Miller. We read that my sophomore year, and that is probably my favorite play that I've had the pleasure of reading, and I've reread it numerous times. Wow. And I love the movie with Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder. So give a little shout out to that.
Wow.
2 of our great... Go ahead, Andrew.
I'm sure that I read the book in school at some point, or whatever, the play or whatever.
Yeah, it was summer reading for us.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember being at Alan's house and just sitting. We watched the Crucible movie together.
Wow.
Which it doesn't get much better than that. You're on the couch with your buddy, watching the Crucible, watching Daniel Day-Lewis just chew through the movie. Winona Ryder, the most just a beautiful woman. In the prime of her acting career. I'm going to stop talking now.
Poor Winona. Hollywood did Winona dirty, by the way. Can we just add that?
Yeah, but she's back. She's
I
back.
know she's back, but she got blackballed for shoplifting. Has anybody else seen what's going on in Hollywood these days? That's nothing.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
The double standard for sure.
Yeah. And I never thought that seemed like that big of a deal. The shoplifting. Not that I'm for it, but you know.
Have you ever shoplifted, Andrew?
I don't think so.
I'm sure the statute of limitations is up.
Yeah, sure.
I gotta come after
no,
that.
I really don't think so. Have you?
Okay. Have I?
Yeah.
Vince, do you want to answer first?
Hell yeah, I've shoplifted.
Anything in particular? Anything memorable?
Nothing significant. We're talking, 25-cent candy or something. But,
you're right.
I'm not walking out with a Gucci handbag at Saks Fifth Avenue, but.
The only thing I can really remember, and I feel like, so I worked at a grocery store, and I worked in the refrigerator, and every once in a while, if they were getting rid of like some stuff because it was like a day over, I'd sneak chocolate milk.
Okay. I don't even consider that shoplifting.
I mean, I didn't really either because I felt so underpaid and so undervalued.
But I mean, it's going out the door anyway. It's like
I should have lied. I should have been like, yeah, I stole a car.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, my book, this is a top 5 book for me all time. I love this book. It's by Kurt Vonnegut. It's called A Man Without a Country. And this is not your typical Vonnegut fiction, but more a reflection on the world and his place in it. He gives his thoughts on writing, on politics, on just life in general. It's like really like Vonnegut's theory on life. It's a little bit dated by the fact that there's a little bit of a focus on George Bush and Iraq, but still it's kind of sparing and ultimately, unfortunately, still relatable. So yeah, Man Without a Country. I pulled a quote here. This book is just like you could open to any page and it would be an amazing quote, but I was just kind of flipping through and I saw this one. If you really want to hurt your parents, the least you can do is go into the arts. I'm not kidding. The arts are not a way to make a living. They are a very human way of making life more bearable. Practicing an art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow. And for heaven's sake, sing in the shower, dance to the radio, tell stories, write a poem to a friend, even a lousy poem. Do it as well as you possibly can. You will get an enormous reward. You will have created something. Just beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, I've never read that one, but I've
definitely heard of it.
You could borrow it, Andrew. It's
yeah, sure.
It's a really short read.
Okay.
Yeah.
He definitely has a way of explaining things. It's really interesting. There's a really good, while we're talking about him, really good YouTube video. The only thing I can remember about it is the pictures like him at a chalkboard, but he's like talking about stories and how they work and stuff. It's really
the line, like the graphing of stories. Yeah.
Super.
Oh man, that is so good. Yes. And a documentary came out about a year and a half ago called Vonnegut and Me. And while it's not perfect, it's if you like Vonnegut, it's definitely worth a look.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Man Without a Country is my pick. Close call, Andrew.
I think The Feast for Crows is the only book that I read from this year, but I just also wrote down Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. I haven't read it, but I guess a sequel to some sort to American Gods. So it's on my list of to be reads. I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
Cool. Yeah, Neil Gaiman. Very cool. Any close calls, Vince?
I do have another thing written down, and again, it's circling back to what I know I read during my sophomore year of high school, and that's Macbeth.
Yeah.
Macbeth is probably my favorite Shakespeare. I just love everything about it. This between like the symbolism and the themes, and I remember, I don't know if it was any different for you guys, but when we started, like high school English classes, they always kicked it off with like Romeo and Juliet or As You Like It. Like it was always some like romantic and sad story, but with Macbeth, just the whole idea of like the violence and the witchcraft and that was like that and the Crucible. I had a great year in a English class, and my teacher was a symbolism nut, so I was all for that. I got my A in that class very easily.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very cool. Macbeth. Andrew, do you have any favorite Shakespeare?
I know that at least one year we read a lot.
Yeah.
But I could never fully get into it, I feel like. Maybe the language, I just couldn't relate to it or something. I'm not sure, but I appreciate it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. I'm a Tempest guy myself. Put me down for Tempest. All right. I got a couple close calls here. My definitive close call is Team of Rivals by Doris Kearns Goodwin. This is a book about Abraham Lincoln. It's kind of the definitive biography on Abraham Lincoln. It's a very, very large book, but Team of Rivals is pretty well loved amongst historians. Outlines Lincoln as kind of the imperfect leader, even though he had what would be like by today's standards perfect leadership skills. I mean, this book should be required reading, I think, for all world leaders. I think President Obama said as much. So just a great
book.
Team of Rivals. It's partly what the movie Lincoln was based on, of course. That was just like a chapter of it, but very great book. And then I did have 1776 here by David McCullough.
All right.
So that was
if you bet on us, then you can count that as a win, everybody, that we did have the same book in common.
Yep, it's here. And then I had also Never Let Me Go by Ishiguro. This is a sci-fi book that admittedly I did not read until I saw the movie. Great movie with Andrew Garfield and Keira Knightley. Weird little sci-fi book that is kind of set in a very like calm setting, but weird stuff going on. I don't want to give too much away. Yeah. Did you guys have any Fergusons?
No Ferguson for me.
Okay.
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do. I mean, I think some people probably really like this book. I gotta admit, I really haven't read it for the most part, but just from what I've seen of it, I have to give it to Ferguson, and that's Twilight.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. I believe it was like originally written as a 50 Shades of Grey, like fan fiction, and then turned into its own book.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's correct.
But isn't it about teenagers?
I mean, yeah, I guess so, but I don't know. I don't know what the whole version of this was,
Sure.
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that too, Andrew, that it did start off one thing and then became about, sparkly vampires and high school kids.
Vampires, hot or not?
Hot.
Yeah, I like them, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
Well, no, I meant hot.
Do I find the idea of vampire
seductive?
Not particularly, but I like vampires in general. I mean, they're fine. I don't.
Oh my gosh! Have you
if
seen
Gary Oldman comes to my window?
Yes,
the blood. I'm letting him in.
That's what I was just saying. Have you seen Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah.
Oh my! Okay.
He's like a monster.
Well, but he's so seductive.
Okay. I mean, I get it.
Have you seen Dracula Dead and Loving It? Leslie Nielsen is...
Yeah.
All right, well, let me read some of our listener picks. Clayton also picked Never Let Me Go, so good job there, Clayton. Lacey picked Twilight. She said, Forgive Me. We had a couple people pick Half-Blood Prince, including Evelyn and Damien. We had James picking Where Three Roads Meet by John Barth. Tim picked Strange Angel by George Pendle. Brody picked 20th Century Ghost by Joe Hill. I've heard a lot of good things about that one. I'd like to check that out. Jordan picked The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. Rest in peace. Shay picked Scott Pilgrim, Volume 2. Have you guys ever read any of the Scott Pilgrims?
I have not.
I have not.
No, me either. I like that movie, but I haven't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a guess for best selling of this year? Haven't mentioned it. It's not Harry Potter? I don't think so, from what I could tell.
Is it?
It's a popular author.
I was going to say Million Little Pieces, but I don't think that's it.
No. I'll just tell you.
John Grisham's. That's right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I was just going to make up a fake book called The Case.
Close.
John Grisham, the lawyer. Go ahead.
Very close. It's called The Broker.
Oh my gosh, I would have gotten it in at least 10 guesses.
See, if that was Final Jeopardy, you would have won that one. Who is John Grisham?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Andrew, where should we go next?
Maybe let's do album.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay. Interesting. That? Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Well, my album of this year is by a band called Figurines. The album's called Skeleton. I plan to tag along and now waste all my knee. I dance like a blurry phantom all night. Forever waste the time, watch your back in this terrain. Screw up in the final chapter all night, all night. Just so good. These guys from Denmark, I think. Lead singer has just like very interesting voice. I think this was during a period of time where this kid or man was coming in to the record store and trading in like a stack of cutout CDs, which are like promo CDs. Like he must have worked for a radio station around here. And so like for a year or two, maybe every Saturday or Sunday, we'd get a stack of these and I'd just like go through and listen to them real quick and like see if I liked any of them. I think that was in this stack and just blew me away, this CD.
That's so
stuck
weird.
With me in my car for a long time.
Yeah. That's weird because I also love this album, but we did not find it through each other, which is unusual. I love the song All Night.
Yeah.
It's, I think my favorite from there. But yeah, good album. If people out there have not heard Figurines, I co-sign. Check them out.
Nice.
Vince, favorite album?
Well, this is when the tomato flinging is going to start. So,
I know you love yourself some pop, so I'm like, I'm prepared.
I'm a big. I do like all types of music. Like when you guys talk about these bands that I don't know about, I definitely look them up after. I'm like, all right, these are good. This is good. But especially at this stage in my life, I was big on pop and dance music, and just like I was a Walking Now CD. Well, if it was on the radio or VH1 in the morning, chances are, love this song. But believe it or not, my album's gonna be here it comes, Confessions on the Dance Floor by Madonna.
Oh yeah, nice. No, it could be a lot worse, Vince. There's a lot worse this year.
But that album, I mean, growing up too, I was a big ABBA fan. So when I heard she started sampling that with her single "Hung Up," like I was hooked.
Yeah.
You know, we have "Hung Up," "Get Together," "Sorry," "I Love New York," "Jump." I mean, it definitely helped revitalize like the clubs and like the dance music scene, and I think it was one of her best-selling albums and one of the best in the 21st century. So for me, I'm gonna have to give it to Madonna for 2005 for the album.
Man, do you have a track, or is that a spoiler?
I do have a track. It is not a spoiler. It's gonna be "Hung Up," the lead single from the album.
Okay, cool.
And here come the tomatoes.
No. Come on, Vincenzo. I mean, put a little respect on Madonna's name here, which you are. Is this album after music?
Yes, it's after music.
I love music. You know? With the bourgeoisie.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And the rebels.
Just want to rock a cowboy hat and just go to town with it?
Yeah, Ray of Light. Oh my gosh. I think people thought she was maybe past her prime at this point, but I think she's just getting cozy here. I think she's like really... I think music's caught up to her in 2005, but she's still the queen.
Yeah.
No hate here.
If you're a Madonna fan, I think you know this is a great album, especially with all the sampling. Like I mentioned, there's ABBA, but then there's also references to like Donna Summer and the Pet Shop Boys and the Bee Gees and Depeche Mode. So
yeah,
it's kind of something for everybody in this album.
Cool.
And it wasn't an easy choice because I thought there was a lot of great albums in like the mainstream music scene this year. I mean, there was Coldplay and Shakira and Rihanna's first album, and Mariah Carey had her big comeback album this year. So it wasn't easy.
Yeah. Andrew, any feelings on Madonna?
I'm okay with that choice. I never was big on her, but I also never really disliked her with a passion.
Yeah. Oh man. This used to be our playground.
Oh my God.
This used to be our childhood something. So good. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she was just in town, and I remember telling someone I'd actually like to see Madonna, and then I got made fun of.
I know the feeling. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, no. I like this pick. My favorite album is an album that I don't expect anybody to know, and it is my favorite album of the year, and I really just want to really encourage people to maybe try it. The album is called "Lonely People of the World Unite," and it is by Devin Davis.
It's hard to live in a basement and not get carried away when you're a caveman on the pavements in the USA. A light head in the headlights, staring temporarily stunned. 3 whole weeks spent throwing matchsticks at the sun. Iron woman, there remains that we managed to stay.
Found this album accidentally. 2005, I think I was maybe doing my own music, and someone found my music and went hey, I like your music. You should check out this guy I know in Florida named Devin Davis. I think you'd like his. And so then I only could find one song, which is the song you just heard called Iron Woman. And I was just insanely in love with it. The moment I heard it, I was this is whoever this guy is this. He has the same heart as me is when it comes to music. So then the only way I could get more is 2005, right? I have to order his CD. So I order his CD. It comes, and every one of these songs is just some of my favorites. It's a top 10 album all time for me.
Wow.
He never made another album. That's the thing. He made one album and he stopped.
Oh, I hate when they do that.
Yep. Yeah, pretty strange. But he's like a sound engineer now in Chicago. Actually, I've like become kind of, just through the internet friends with him. Like,
Nice.
we sometimes send messages, but he's not an active musician anymore. But this album is on Spotify. I'm going to say it really slowly. Lonely people of the world, comma, unite, exclamation point. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know it. But,
Well, it's time. Andrew, if you didn't love this album, I would be floored.
okay. All right. I wrote it down.
Okay.
I did
Check
write it
it
down
out.
too, so I'll definitely give it a look-see.
Oh man. I won't sing it. I mean, I've already serenaded you with Madonna. I can't do all of these.
Have another drink. I'm sure we'll get a full concert out of you.
Close calls, albums.
Yeah, mine is another band that sounds like it's made up. Someone Still Loves You, Boris Yeltsin. Broom.
Oh
is the name
my
of the album.
God. Wait, it's not Broom?
Yeah, it is Broom.
Oh, okay.
This, I think this was another album that came to me from this guy that was bringing these CDs in.
Andrew, wait a second. Andrew, this album is 2006.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Oh, no. You know what?
What?
I know it was re-released in 2006, but it was originally released in 2005.
What do I do here?
Well, okay,
go ahead.
Yeah. Right, amazing album. Just like this indie band. I don't know where they came from. I think they're still out there.
St.
though.
Louis.
Yeah, I just love this album. Another one of those albums that I accidentally listened to it and it turned out to be like right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, Pangea, amazing.
Yeah.
I Am Warm and Powerful, amazing. What'll We Do? Amazing. Travel Song, amazing. Oregon Girl, amazing. House Fire was like the song I woke up to on my phone for 5 years. This is tormenting because I hadn't prepared mentally for this album.
Well,
So maybe I'll just talk about it again next year.
yeah. That's
Okay.
Man,
great pick. Great cover art. I love like the cartoony flowers.
Yeah. Really great.
Broom. Check it out, folks. They haven't made music in a while, although all the albums they made are very good. But there's a lot of side projects. One I checked out is called Hey Pam. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Cool. Vince, Close Call album.
I'm gonna have to give it to Demon Days by Gorillaz.
Ooh, good one.
Cool.
Good one.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of albums written down, and I just kept circling back to that one. And then I looked at the track listing again, and the second I remembered that Feel Good and Dare was on this album, like that's gonna be my close call. And I kind of feel like Gorillaz they were definitely ahead of everything in 2005 because they're a virtual band, and now I feel like all you see are virtual bands and like concerts with holograms, and there's not to go see a hologram of Whitney Houston. You're like, wait, what? How is this possible? But I have a lot of good memories with listening to Feel Good and Dare and Dirty Harry, so they definitely my close call.
Nice. Yeah. I remember when that album first came out and like just first hearing about it, I was like, what is this? Like, is this real people or what? I don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a wonderful album. Yeah. So many great songs. I mean, they're, one of those songs you mentioned is on my top 10 for the year. Very cool project. All right. Well, this really screws everything up. Okay. I'm going to just stick to what I had. My Close Call is an album that I've played every year for the last 18 years. I listened to it in full today. It still rocks harder than ever. This is an album called Worlds Apart. It is by a band called Ellipses, and You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead. They're an Austin, Texas band, but they like really rock. They're kind of infamous for just having a big sound. They got 2 drummers, like 3 guitarists. It's a huge sound. And it's a little noisy, but it's still super melodic. This album has a ton of great songs. Will You Smile Again for Me, Worlds Apart, The Rest Will Follow, Caterwaul, All White. Just a really, really pretty album, even though it rocks really hard. And it was like the right album. It found me just like right at the right time in the depths of my depression. And it's like, even though it rocks, it just lifts you up. Worlds Apart, and You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead. Do you know those guys, Andrew?
I know you like them. I've had heard of them through other people, but I never really gave them a good shot. So
okay, their live show is really, really cool. I don't know if they tour anymore, but yeah, it was just so loud. Yeah. Any other albums you want to shout out?
Yeah, a few others from this year that I really like. New Pornographers, Twin Cinema, The Strokes, First Impressions of Earth, White Stripes, Get Behind Me, Satan, OK Go, Oh No, Not a Surf, The Weight is a Gift, Eels, Blinking Lights and Other Revelations, and Death Cab for Cutie Plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I've talked about The Strokes a lot on here, but we'll say that this album was like, I don't know, I really like it. It's just like a different sound. You know? Like, I don't know, like they're just
a little more polished.
Yeah. I mean, it was like the first in my mind, like here, this and all albums after it are like, to me, sound like completely different things. I mean, just like an evolution, I guess, of their sound.
Yeah. No, I agree. Unless it's going to spoil anything, any favorite songs from that one?
You know what? I didn't even go through it.
Okay.
I'm horrible at remembering song names. I'm sure I do, but I...
Gotcha. Okay. Vince? Any other albums?
Let's see. I think I mentioned a few before, but I definitely want to... X and Y by Coldplay definitely stands out in my mind.
Yeah.
I know there was a 50 Cent album that year. I think it was The
yeah.
Massacre.
Yeah.
And of course, this may get some criticism, but Monkey Business by the Black Eyed Peas. That was my jam.
What are the famous ones on that?
Oh, that's the My Humps album.
Oh, My Humps.
That is the Don't Funk With My Heart and My Humps album.
My Lovely Lady Lumps.
That's it.
You want me to sing it?
If you really want to, go ahead.
I don't really want to.
It sounds like you do.
I just, if Vince is into it, I want to make sure our guest is nice and comfortable. And
I mean, I think you would probably appreciate this, Joey. If you go on YouTube and you search in for Mad TV My Humps, the spoof is My Slumps, and it's all them poking fun at George Bush.
Wow, okay, something designed directly for me. Okay.
Yep. So you make a clip out of that.
Okay, My Slumps. All right. Very good. I would also shout out The Weight is a Gift by Not a Surf. Really, really good album. The Mysterious Production of Eggs by Andrew Bird. A really nice, good album. And an album called Nice and Nicely Done by the Spinto Band. Insanely catchy. There's just like, even the bad songs are just kind of too catchy to dislike. So Spinto Band, yeah. Any Fergusons?
Yes. It's a Ferguson by technicality, though, for me. It's
Sure.
My Morning Jacket, Z.
Uh-oh. Oh no!
And, yeah, and it's because if it wasn't the very first, it was one of the very first CDs to have that like digital rights protection on it. So when I put it in my iTunes, it just turned into a jumbled mess, and so I never really even got into it because that's the only way I had it on my iPod.
Wow.
So that annoyed me for years, and
it has some really good songs.
well,
Hold on. This is my favorite one. It's called Gideon. If your CD had worked, you would have heard this.
yeah, that's true.
They also have one here called Off the Record. Hold on. Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. Just a little taste of what you were missing.
You know, I'm not against it. I just blame this whole ridiculous thing they were trying to pull at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of lame, for sure. Vince Ferguson?
Oh, well, before I get to the Ferguson, there were 2 more albums I didn't want to... I just remembered.
Oh, it's
I was
too
a
late.
big fan of...
No, it's too late.
Oh, come on. You know what? It's Weezer. I forgot about Weezer.
Make Believe. Yeah. Yeah.
And Tattoo. Or T-A-T-U, however you want to call them. You know, the Russian chicks.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Russian chicks.
You know, the Russian chicks. You know, as an Italian-American, I know way too much Russian from their albums. It's kind of like, deploy me. I'm ready to serve my country against Russia. Like, I know enough. Like, you know?
Wait, you're going to serve Russia?
No, I'm going to serve the good old USA. I could be one of their spies. I know enough Russian from these albums.
Vince, do I need to report you?
Nah, they got bigger fish to fry. They're not going to worry about some 5'7" Italian guy from New York. What am I going to do? Make him a chicken parm? Like, come on.
You love
Vince.
Tattoo. Very suspicious.
Oh, yeah? You think so, Andrew?
No, I mean, that's what they would say.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Vince,
But,
what's your favorite Italian meal?
Ooh, that's I'm going to have to go with a good old carbonara.
Ooh. Yeah, that's good. Andrew, do you have a favorite Italian meal?
Well, I don't know. I love angel hair pasta. That's my favorite pasta.
I too, man.
You know, that with marinara is like my ultimate meal that I can't fully enjoy anymore.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Now I'm hungry.
We're going to take a break. We're all going to have some Italian, and we'll be back in about 40 minutes. No, I don't have any Ferguson albums. I just I guess I just didn't get that far. But I do want to share people's favorite albums here. We have Nikki with Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah, their self-titled album, which is a fun one. Evelyn picked Something to Be by Rob Thomas. Shay picked With Teeth, 9 Inch Nails. Clayton picked Witching Hour by Ladytron. Jordan picked Bright Eyes, I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning. Colin picked Silent Alarm by Block Party. That was a pretty fun album. Allie picked Mia Sama by the Black Dahlia Murder. Sorry if I said that wrong. Kev picked Salesman at the Day of the Parade by Rogue Wave. Lacey picked In Your Honor, Foo Fighters. Brody picked Oh No by OK Go. Tim picked B by Common. Damien picked Make Believe by Weezer. Martel picked The Spill Canvas, One Fell Swoop. James picked Tender Buttons by Broadcast. That's a good one. And Justin picked Mike Jones. Who is Mike Jones? Any of those stand out to you?
Weezer, definitely the Weezer. The Foo Fighters, definitely.
Yeah.
Nobody picked Nickelback, though, huh?
Well, be patient. We always got songs. Okay. Any other album stuff, Andrew?
Just the Billboard bestseller for the year, We mentioned it.
50 Cent?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
Still going strong with that vitamin water injury.
Yep. Been dreaming about it.
The stuff I did to that album, oh my god, I never want to be a parent in today's world. Oh, no.
Vince?
Yeah.
What did you do to that album?
Dude, just obnoxious, 16 years old and you're trying booze for the first time. It was just, oh. God. I'm so grateful that social media didn't exist back then the way it does today, because I would be untagging myself in every single picture imaginable.
I really am grateful for that. I'm glad we
lived in the moment more. Like, we could just go out and hang out with your friends, and you don't have to worry about being on your phone, and people knew how to have a conversation, and you just had fun and lived in the moment. And
yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. Well, where do I want to go? I want to go to TV.
Okay.
Let's talk about a little TV.
Good. Pretty good year, I think, actually.
Yeah, it is a good year for TV.
Ultimately, though, I gotta go with It's Always Sunny for the top show of the year. Yeah, just so funny, especially, actually, most of the seasons are really good. Maybe this last season was a little bit off, but just a hilarious show, especially like finding this for the first time when it came out. It was so different from everything. It was just like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I don't know. I love it.
I mean, just like when you talk about perfect casting chemistry, the show is kind of like example A. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
Everyone's so perfect in the role here. The kind of reinvention of Danny DeVito is so good. And it's really one of those shows that, even though it's not like my favorite show of all time, if it's on, it's kind of like King of the Hill, where like you can just have it on.
Yeah.
It's a comfort.
Yeah. And what just an early moment that like hooked me, that episode with Rob Thomas and Sinbad. It's just like, what is happening here? So bizarre.
Yeah. Cool. All right. That was also James's pick and Kev.
Nice.
Yeah. Vince, favorite TV show?
So I thought this was going to be a horror decision, but it actually wasn't as bad. I picked The Office.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how old The Office is, but kind of frightening. But back then, watching The Office, I actually didn't watch it when it first premiered. I caught it maybe a few years into its run already. And, the cast is great. You laugh at everything going on. You have secondhand embarrassment from a TV show. And then once you became like an adult and you started working in an office, this show is like every day something happens and you just pretend there's a camera staring at you like, wow, this world is really full of these characters. And, like, it's not, it's really a documentary. That's
Yeah. Longtime lover of the show. Liked it right from the start. Another good example of casting, just like the right people in the right roles.
Yeah.
Admittedly, once Carell was gone, I didn't love it quite as much. But this first season's really, it's a short season, right? I think it's like 6 episodes.
Yes, it's a short one.
It's a really, really tight season. Like, they really packed in, you could tell, as much cringe as possible.
And I'm pretty sure this is the season that has the Diversity Day episode.
Oh yeah, I think it's episode 2. It's right out of the gate.
The amount of cringe-worthiness that happens from The Office. I sit there embarrassed for Michael Scott.
Yeah. This was also Brody, Tim, and Nikki's pick. Yeah.
Nice.
Andrew, Office?
I watched it at the time. I still like it. It's lost a little bit of its luster for me, but I still like it.
Sure. Yeah, the one thing that's happened is as I watch it, I kind of just like Jim less and less. The more I see it, the more I'm like, Jim's just kind of mean. He's just like he's not very nice to anybody.
Wow.
But those first few seasons are pretty unbeatable. Steve Carell is just, I mean, like one of the great performances, I think, in television history. Did you guys watch The British Office?
No.
No?
I keep meaning to too, but
My gosh, guys. All right. Get your pasta. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Okay. This show, I'm so excited. Just like Devin Davis, I'm so excited to talk about this show because I think like not many people tuned in. It's one season. It started and ended in 2005. I think it's one of the funniest shows to ever air on television. It's called Stella. Stella is a show starring Michael Showalter, Michael Ian Black, and David Wayne, three of the funniest guys out there. In this show, they play three roommates, men in their like late 30s living in an apartment in New York together. They wear suits pretty much at all times. So like it doesn't matter if they're laying in bed or if they're out or if they're just sitting in the apartment, they're always wearing suits. And just the weird stuff that goes on in their lives. I mean, it's really like little sketches that play out, but it's a cohesive show. And tons of great guest stars pop up on this thing. What's his name? Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Oh man, Paul Rudd is amazing in this. Sam Rockwell pops up in this. Like every episode kind of has this person, and I can't figure it out. It's so funny, and I don't know how people didn't catch on to it. The stinky thing here is it's just not available anywhere. Like you really can't find it anywhere. The only shot you got is to buy the DVDs.
I mean, it's good. I would think those would be cheap if they're not out of print.
Yeah, I haven't looked, but I also own it. So, Andrew, did you watch it when it was on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it was really good. The one thing that I remember now is when they were trying to grow something like from the floorboards of their.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
And it actually works. Like their apartment essentially becomes like a migration field. There's like an overseer and there's people working in their apartment growing stuff. And they become like real fat cats. They become like rich overnight and they're like become huge assholes. And then there's a drought and all the crops die. And there's just water pouring through the floorboards to the women below them. Man, yeah, Stella, people missed it, and I hope, like, even if you just go to YouTube and maybe search some of their stuff. Now, they did sketches, like 3-minute, 4-minute sketches on YouTube before they started doing this stuff. And, of course, all three of these guys were part of the state, so they, they're sketch royalty, but, yeah.
Yeah, so good. I remember at the time, this was one of those shows that, like, these guys had done so much up to that point, I just thought, there's no possible way this can get canceled.
Yeah.
They just had so many chances. This is the one.
Yes.
And inevitably it gets canceled. I don't know if it was this year or maybe, like, the next year, but right around this time, I believe, I can't remember who all was there, but, Michael Showalter and Michael Ian Black came to the garage shop.
Yeah.
That we talked about. Oh god,
with Patton.
Oh
yeah.
So good.
Yes,
and my biggest memory from that is seeing Michael Showalter sitting outside with a huge one of those metal tubs of popcorn.
Yeah, where it divides up the types of popcorn.
Yeah,
I remember that as well. Yeah.
And, like, nobody was going up to him.
No.
He was just sitting by himself, like, 10 feet away or whatever.
He was just sitting on the corner on those concrete steps eating popcorn out of a metal bucket. I did say hi.
Great image.
I did say hi, but he was not very, like, it didn't seem like he was not going to engage much. But, yeah, I saw them the next year, too. And the next time I saw them, it was a Stella show. So it was all three of them on stage together. And the one besides being a hilarious show, the one cool thing is I didn't know who the opener was at the time, but as years went by, I realized the opener was Kumail Nanjiani. So that was just like, I think one of the best comedy shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay,
you're gonna have to backtrack because didn't you ask about vampires before if they were hot?
Yeah.
Isn't Paul Rudd like a vampire? This dude hasn't aged in 30 years.
I mean, Paul Rudd's hot
for sure.
He hasn't aged. I don't know what his secret is, but
yeah, I don't know. He's also from Kansas.
okay, so any listeners out there in Kansas, what are you doing different? Because this guy hasn't aged in 30 years.
Just good Midwestern living. Yeah. All right. A close call show.
Yeah, my close call is Everybody Hates Chris.
Okay.
The Chris Rock like sitcom, sort of a little bit based on his life growing up. Just a really funny, great show. I feel like it's like feels to me like in the same vein as Malcolm in the Middle. Just like I just love it. I've watched it a lot in reruns, and it's so funny. His whole like family is really hilarious. Terry Crews is his dad. Yeah, just love it.
Yeah. That was also Evelyn and Josh's pick.
Nice.
Close call, Vince?
Believe it or not, it's a Nickelodeon show.
Huh.
And it's going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, okay.
I mean, at this stage in my life, I was phased out of Nickelodeon for the most part, but I used to babysit on Saturday nights. And I remember when the first episode premiered, and I watched it all the way through. That was the only thing I would turn Nickelodeon on for was Avatar. Amazing animation, the plot is great, the characters, the soundtrack. I mean, it's almost like if you showed somebody the show, you wouldn't even think it was a Nickelodeon show. Like, the production was that impressive.
Yeah. I've never checked it out. I know people love it.
Yeah, I always hear good things about it, and it sounds like up my alley. Somehow it's one of those ones that slipped by me for the most part, too.
Yeah, cool. Well, we already Office is my definitive close call. So since we already talked about it, I'll go with the Colbert Report.
Yeah.
A pretty important show during my college years. Stephen Colbert pretending to be like kind of a talking head conservative, but with just such utter commitment, like never, ever winking, not for a second. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the best part was really those interviews, just the unrelenting attack on everyone and anything. I think his Better Know a District segments were some of the funniest things on television that year. So yeah, Colbert Report. Obviously, everybody knows Stephen Colbert now, but I think at the time it was still a little bit of a novelty, which then eventually blew up. But yeah, love that show.
Really good.
Okay. Any other shows you want to shout out?
Yeah, I got some. This was the year in America Neon Genesis Evangelion premiered. It's an anime. Really great. Masters of Horror premiered this year. Anybody who's into horror, I really recommend the episode called Cigarette Burns by John Carpenter, and just a really, really great standalone horror, like short horror story. Supernatural, My Name is Earl came out for our childhood friend Brett. How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
The Boondocks, Robot Chicken, Iron Chef America, Weeds, Hell's Kitchen, The Andy Milonakis Show, Camp Lazlo from Joe Murray, creator of Rocco, Meerkat Manor, and of course Chris Angel, Mind Freak.
Oh my god, yeah.
Wait, as like one you like?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, I haven't rewatched it since it was on, but I watched it at the time.
Okay.
Mind Freak.
I can't believe Hell's Kitchen is that old too. I mean, I give anybody that goes in Hell's Kitchen props, because if I had this British guy yelling at me for every day on the hour, oh no.
But Vince, you've always hated the British, haven't you? Ever since 1776?
Well, I'm Italian, so we switch sides all the time. So no, today we love the British.
All right. Yeah.
Make a love and not a war.
All right. I like it. Andrew, you forgot the most important show. 2005 MTV Next.
Oh my god!
I don't even know what it is. Next.
Let me tell you
I
a
thought
little
you were
bit.
going to say my Super Sweet 16, Joey.
No. Only the classics here. Next dealt with a contestant going on a sequential blind date with possibly up to 5 other single people, known as, quote, the daters, who were secluded on an RV referred to as the next bus. The added twist was that the date could end at any time by the contestants shouting next. So like these guys would get off the bus.
Yeah.
They'd do a little date. If she liked it, the date would keep going. If she didn't, next.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're going through a date, and she's like replacing people.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I loved watching the chemistry. You want to know something crazy? Guess how many episodes of Next there are?
God.
72.
Okay. Vince?
45.
Guys, there's 288 episodes of Next. That's approximately, my math isn't great. Hold on. That's approximately 278 episodes more than Stella.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you can't win them all, but all right. Any Fergusons this year?
Yes. As far as TV shows go, Squidbillies, I just never got it. I think I knew of people who really liked it, but it just never clicked with me. But my real TV Ferguson is Snick ending after 12 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. What a run.
A moment of silence for Snick.
It just hits a little too hard. Honestly, I'm not sure I knew it ever ended.
Like to pretend that it's still going on.
Yeah, like every Saturday night, kids are still, just gathering around and waiting. Yeah, that's a good point, Andrew. Snick ending's a great one.
Let's see. So 2005. I feel like for me, that's when reality TV addiction really was ramping up. And I remember like VH1, this is when you had The Surreal Life and Hogan Knows Best and Strangelove. But Bravo had a show, and even though I have rewatched it recently, it's just a sad show, and it's Being Bobby Brown.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good pick.
I mean, it's a one season show. I don't think it's anything more than maybe 7 or 8 episodes, but you see Bobby and Whitney in their home life and knowing what happens to them later down the road. It's kind of a hard watch.
Yeah.
Because you'll be watching an episode and you're like, she's clearly high.
Yeah.
Or he's drunk, or like their daughter's just being ignored. And then you see what happens to her later on in life. And it's just it's a melancholy, rewatch knowing what you know now about the family.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Okay. Well, my definitive Ferguson here, Andrew, is Chris Angel, Mind Freak. Get this guy out of here.
Wow, worse than Next? Come on.
Worse, this guy's a war criminal. Get him out of here.
War criminal?
Yeah, just fooling people, bad magic.
Is it bad?
Just his whole deal. This guy looks like he went to like a Renta, what was that emo store called?
Hot Topic.
Hot Topic. This guy looks like he like went to the dumpster fire Hot Topic, dyed his hair black, swooped it in his face, and was like, I know how to do magic tricks.
Hey, that's why they call him the Mind Freak.
Even the way he spells his name. Criss. There's an H in there somewhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a David Blaine house, okay?
This is what? Sorry.
A David Blaine house.
Oh, okay.
We ride or die with David Blaine.
Sure. Okay. Very good.
Okay. So that's my Ferguson. I do want to read other people's picks. Let's see here. Attack of the Show was Justin's pick.
Nice.
No Reservations was Allie's pick.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Anthony Bourdain.
Cool.
Martel picked Weeds.
Nice.
Damien and Lacey picked How I Met Your Mother, which is probably the most famous show, I guess, to come from this year.
Except for
Or I guess The Office. Maybe The Office, but yeah. Let's see here. Clayton and Shay picked My Name is Earl. Pretty funny show.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh picked Prison Break.
Nice.
Yeah. Any other TV stuff, Andrew?
You guys got any guesses for top ratings TV show this year?
Super Nanny.
No. That seems like a good guess.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
No. It's American Idol.
Oh, right. Sure.
Also, I just wanted to mention that this year, the success of SpongeBob forces Nickelodeon to renew it for a 4th season. And also All That ends this year.
Yeah. So, wow. All right. I also noticed that the Everybody Loves Raymond and the Osbournes ended that year.
Anybody else a big Raymond fan? Because I am.
I like it.
You know, I've always kind of disliked it, but I have watched a few episodes in recent years, and I am really impressed with like how they can get a story out of like nothing a lot of the times. I mean, it is the simplest setup. Somehow they fill 30 minutes and it feels like reasonable. So I give them credit.
Yeah. It's pretty good actually. All right, Vince, where are we going next?
Let's go to games.
Well, for me, there was one standout game this year. Well, there's a few, but one that really stood above the rest is Resident Evil 4. Came out for the GameCube this year, and one of few games, especially that's this long, that I've played all the way through multiple times over the years. Just go back to it every once in a while. It's just, I don't know. It's like they just nailed the perfect mix of action and horror in this one, I feel like. And the pace is amazing. There's just so much stuff to do. The Mercenaries mode is really cool in it. Yeah, just a really great game.
I don't know if I've ever played it, Vince.
I feel like I played it. I do remember like renting Resident Evil like from Blockbuster in like the 90s, and like I'm never playing this again because it was too intense for me.
Sure.
But my pick for game would have to be The Sims 2.
Ooh. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I was a big I didn't play so much sometimes to like have my family and like live it out through all their life stages. I was always in love with the whole aspect of just making a house and like finding the perfect design, and I was a big architecture junkie with The Sims.
Yeah.
And the graphics were just so much better than the original Sims, and the soundtrack was great. You know, it just you could sign on to play The Sims, and all of a sudden it's like 4:00 in the morning, and you're like, okay, I gotta go to bed now. Like time just escapes you when you would play The Sims.
Yeah.
And I know they're up to The Sims 4 now, but I've heard it's not as good as like the original Sims 2 or Sims 3. So 2005 is The Sims 2 for me.
Nice.
Gotcha.
I played The Sims a little bit, but never got like real deep into it. Joey,
I played the original.
Yeah.
I didn't play number 2, but the original is great.
Yeah, they're addicting.
Yeah. I don't have any video game picks, and I apologize to our listeners because I can also not find their picks.
Oh boy.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I think I accidentally deleted the story that it was posted on. But maybe you guys know some other games, and maybe you'll say one that people like.
Sure. Yeah. My close call is Mario Superstar Baseball for the GameCube. Oh boy, what a game! Our friend Brett, Jim, and I, when this came out, we each did our own. We had like a draft set up because it was such a way where you could like pick all like individual Nintendo characters and put them on a team. So we all set up a draft, and we played this for at least a year, maybe 2, like pretty like weekly. Such a fun game. And the only thing I want to mention about it is, if you're a listener out there that has played this game a lot, let me know if you've ever gotten the superstar rating with Diddy Kong. It was always so impossible. We never got that. We tried to get everybody superstar status. Never worked out.
I mean, there were some pretty intense games with you guys.
Oh yeah.
That was a game that like I definitely never really got in and played, but I did remember watching you guys play from time to time, and someone almost always was just really mad at the end of the game.
Oh yes, it was an infuriating
those Mario games and friendship.
Yeah, it's amazing we withstood some of those games.
Yeah.
That's a fun pick.
That's like a Christmas time, like you'd have yourself and your cousins, like, oh, we're gonna play Mario Party. Oh yeah, great. By the end of it, you're like, F you, it's like, come on guys, it's Christmas, and you all it's just like, F you, go to hell.
Vince, did you have a close call game?
I did. It was Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
The original came out that year?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I probably could just go with that. All right, speak a little bit about it, Vince. It's mine too.
I mean, who doesn't know what Guitar Hero is? I mean, I think it definitely kind of a revolutionary thing. I mean, we all thought we were rock stars playing it.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick up a real guitar, I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Oh, you just press the red button. That's all.
I mean, it was pretty. I remember it being a big deal. Like, people were having contests too with Guitar Hero. Like, there were like local. I don't know if they were bars or whatever, but like you would just see flyers out like, oh, Guitar Hero contest. Like, it wouldn't be a trivia night; it would be a Guitar Hero who could play the best Guitar Hero. And
yeah,
what a beautiful time for all of our lives. I could play a fake guitar, Bob. Like,
any favorite songs on it?
We got Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Spanish Castle Magic by Jimi Hendrix. Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne. Smoke on the Water, Deep Purple. That's my favorite.
Man, every middle school band in America.
Yeah, what the hell is with that?
With their Hot Topic
they got
t-shirt
rights
on.
like for just that song.
Is that Chicago? Who's Smoke on the Water?
It's not Chicago.
Not Chicago. I'm thinking of No, I'm thinking.
I know what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
No, Smoke on the Water is Deep Purple, but
Deep
I know
Purple.
what you're thinking.
Yeah, Deep Purple. Yeah, it's like Deep Purple sold the rights to like the Board of Education or something, or Department of Education. Yeah. Any other video games you guys want to shout out?
I'll mention a few. Super Mario Strikers came out that year. The soccer game. Love all the Mario sports games. Shadow of the Colossus. Really incredible game. Like you basically just fight these enormous monsters, and you're like trying to find their weak point, and you have to like climb on them and stuff. Really cool. Mario Dance Dance Revolution came out that year. Mario Party 7, which in my mind is like the last of the classic Mario parties. God of War, the Capcom Classics Collection, loved that. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, and We Love Katamari.
All that sounds familiar. I don't think I've played any. Okay, cool. Vince, any other games you want to shout out?
I think there was Call of Duty 2, which I know I remember playing that.
Okay.
I think in this year we were also playing like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas from the prior year.
Okay.
Sure.
And And I did write down, I do know that this is when PS3 and the Wii were announced. So by 2005, I was like, I'm not buying no more games for this system because the new one's coming out.
Sure, yeah.
Hey, you guys ready for a huge plot twist? I got the people's picks.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. Justin, Resident Evil 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
James and Tim, Psychonauts. Martel, The Warriors. Damien, Kingdom Hearts 2. Brody, Gun. Kev, this is when the shameless 15-year-old Kev had too much time to kill. MVP Baseball, 2005. Colin, Legend of Zelda. Minish Cap Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Clayton, X-Men Legends 2, Rise of Apocalypse. Shay and Nikki pick Guitar Hero.
Here we go.
And then Evelyn, speaking my language here, Civilization 4.
Nice.
Some picks there.
I think World of Warcraft came out this year too.
Really? Boy, how did we miss that?
Yeah, it's a big one. I never really played it though.
I didn't play it, but I remember like South Park just reaming on World of Warcraft, and it kind of made me want to play it, but I never did.
It was a great episode.
I believe the kids call it WoW. My roommate in college. So our listeners know Chris, great guy, friend of the podcast, friend of us since we were 11. Chris and I roomed with. We got two random roommates, and the one roommate, Dylan, was he's from Sri Lanka, awesome guy. Did you ever meet Dylan, Andrew?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And he did all day. He did not go to class. He ultimately did not continue college after this year. All he did is drink Mountain Dew and play World of Warcraft. And the thing that really worked out here, besides loving Dylan, because he was just the best, is he drank so much Mountain Dew that they were having an Xbox giveaway contest. And and he bought a box that he won a free Xbox. So then we had a brand new Xbox in our apartment with all these games because of Dylan. And I just hope he's still in Ohio. I think he's doing good. He's got a kid. Love Dylan. Anyway,
nice. Yeah, I'm so
it's
glad.
Like, thank you for your cavities, and thank you for the
thank you for the Xbox. He was so funny, but like at all times of the day, he was playing. He was mostly a night owl. He'd play World of Warcraft all night, and then he'd sleep all day and miss class.
Another vampire. Okay.
I have an admiration for this, this kind of commitment to not caring.
Yeah.
I do get envious of people that could pull that off. Yeah. I agree.
I'm also so glad to hear of somebody like winning one of those big prizes.
Yeah.
I was just never sure they were ever given away.
Yeah. I didn't believe him when he told me. I'm like, shut up, Dylan.
I tried every year for that McDonald's Monopoly. I tried so hard every damn year.
Wasn't the fix in on that thing? Wasn't there a documentary saying like a lot of that was just impossible? Yeah.
Every year I get a boardwalk, I'm like, I know there's a Park Avenue out there somewhere. I'm going to find it. 15 pounds later, I never found it.
I think the first 10 years, something like that, they found out like somebody in the inside, in the plant or something, was directing the pieces to their friends or like people they knew.
Bastards.
Yeah.
Ruined it for everybody.
Just some other video game things that happened this year. The PSP was released. Pretty big deal. Our friend Dan was pumped for this thing. I remember really though, like the best thing to me about this ended up being that you could upload what are they called? Emulators and like all the NES games, all the Super Nintendo games on there. Oh, so good. Also, one of my favorite Nintendo systems they ever came out with, the Game Boy Micro, came out this year.
Huh.
It was Game Boy Advanced only. It could only play Game Boy Advance games, but it's like the tiniest Game Boy they've come out with yet. It was just like a tiny rectangle. Such a cool system. And do you guys have any idea what the either the world or U.S. bestseller was this year?
Grand Theft Auto?
Madden?
No. Yep, Madden 06 for the U.S. And the worldwide bestseller was Gran Turismo 4.
Oh, wow.
Man, very cool. All right. Andrew, where do you want to go next?
Oh, gosh. Let's do song.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite song's gonna be, I tried to choose, but I decided really it's a tie between, like, for me, what I feel is like the 3 best songs on this Figurines album.
Okay.
The album again is called Skeleton, but my triple threat here is Race You, Rivalry, and Release Me on the Floor.
I need to bury shame. Remove the magic and what's rather wrong. You change the days and turn them on and on. That was a rivalry, showing the worst of me.
Just love all these songs, so good.
All start with R?
What?
All those songs start with R?
Oh, yeah, they do. Wow. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, again, this is a really cool album. And they do have a very, it's almost like European Strokes or something. Like, it's like grungier, but it's, you know, it's really rock but pop, you know?
Yes, yeah.
It's cool.
We'll have to check that out, too.
Yeah. Cool. What are your 3 favorite songs, Vince?
You want 3?
No, I'm joking.
God, we're going to be here all night. I have a bunch of wrote down. I only just picked my favorite one just maybe an hour or so before I joined you guys on the podcast.
Nice.
I chose Speed of Sound by Coldplay.
Yeah.
I've noticed looking at this list, I mean, I know we mentioned it before that this is 18 years ago, but a lot of these songs, I remember where I was when I first heard these songs, and I can re-enter that state of mind I was in. And, you start thinking about all these memories and all these laughs and going out with friends or seeing it on VH1 in the morning, seeing the music video. It was my MySpace song for who remembers their MySpace song? But I remember Speed of Sound was my first ever MySpace song. So I'm definitely going to give it to Coldplay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that album that year. A lot of listening to it going back and forth between school. Well, I'm going to stick with my promotion of Devin Davis here, but also because it's legitimately my favorite song of the year. This is a song called Cannons at the Courthouse.
Before I knew it, I was in some other room with a rope ladder hanging from the ceiling. When sliding down the rope came Willie Nelson. I say, son, let's find the party that never ends. We smoked some reefer on the roof of the White House. Couldn't wait to get back on the road again. Where the Arctic Sea had melted up to Tennessee, and we were running from the searchlights on the shore. I paddled my canoe down the alley after you, over the cannons at the courthouse. It's 3 o'clock, the streets are empty.
This is just a wonderfully written song with some of my favorite lyrics ever. Let me give you a little taste here. By the time we'd run another race around the sun, we were buried under blankets in the dark. All night long I laid and listened to your song. It didn't stop until the morning, when the rays from space took up marching on my face, and I was pulling covers up over my eyes. Before I knew it, I was in some other room with with a rope ladder hanging from the ceiling. When sliding down the rope came Willie Nelson, saying, "Son, let's find the party that never ends." We smoked some reefer on the roof of the White House. Couldn't wait to get back on the road again. Where the Arctic Sea had melted up to Tennessee, and we were running from the searchlights on the shore, I paddled my canoe down the alley after you, over the cannons at the courthouse. Wow. Poetry. Yeah, Devin Davis, Cannons at the Courthouse. This is track 5. It's like a little bit acoustic, a little bit rocking, gets kind of psychedelic at the end, but yeah, just love this guy. I just love that there's one album. Like, this is it. It's not a big ask. Guys, go listen to it.
It's so funny how, like, Joey can read this beautiful, like, lyrics, and I'm over here like, well, a few times I've been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that. There ain't no holla back, girl. Over here you say this is bananas. BANANAS.
That's its own type of poetry. Don't undersell it. More people know that poem than the one I just said. So, you know, there's validity. Devin Davis, great. Close call?
Yeah. I decided my close call is New Pornographer's The Bones of an Idol.
The will is gone. 'Cause something keeps turning us on.
Oh, wow.
I forgot my favorite song on the album.
I do know that one.
I didn't know this album came out this year.
Oh.
Redo.
Go ahead.
I just a really like image heavy song, really like evocative, and I love, of course, Nico Case's voice, just unbeatable.
Man, it's that is that Twin Cinemas?
Yeah.
Man, what an album.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look here. Bones of an Idol is pretty good. I think my favorite. I really like Sing Me Spanish Techno. Sure. Jackie Dressed in Cobras is really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, sorry.
Yeah, great album.
Great album. Use It. Use It's really good.
Yes. I might as well mention just a few others because I don't think you guys are gonna say them. But you already mentioned I Am Warm and Powerful. Someone Still Loves You, Boris Yeltsin.
Ugh.
Love that. And maybe the song that has stuck with me the most from the Not a Surf album of this year, The Weight is a Gift is the album, is Your Legs Grow. Really, really great song.
So good.
Also, there's an alternate version out there somewhere. It was on a compilation CD that I had that I lost somehow, and just a different take on it. Really incredible. So, great song.
Close calls. All right. Well, now you got to go back in that state of mind I was telling you about. 16-year-old going to a club.
Yeah.
So this is like a Jersey Shore song before there was a Jersey Shore, and it's Every Time We Touch, or it's Every Time We Touch, Every Time We Kiss by Cascada. It's
I know you're talking.
Gonna get so many.
What's it
so
called?
many
Every Time
some people
We
are gonna
Kiss?
be like, yeah, that was a great song, and then other people will be like, oh my god, that is nothing but Euro pop trash.
It's called Every Time We Kiss?
Every Time We Touch. It's Every Time We Touch.
Oh, every time.
But it's like super fast paced, like a sped up version.
Hold on.
There's a lot of kids. I mean,
Hold on. I want to. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. I know this.
Yeah, this.
Wait, it's really going to crank up, right?
oh, it's cranking.
Hold on.
Boom.
Your arms are my castle. Hold on, listeners. Once you start singing again. Okay. Wipe away the tears that I cry. I cry. Good and the bad. Do you know this? Can you sing it, Vince?
Oh, come on. You make me rise when I fall.
Here we go. 'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling. And every time we kiss, I swear I could fly. All right, good pick.
And everybody's done. They're like, oh.
Everybody just turned off the podcast. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
But again, is it the greatest song in the world? No, it's just a song I just have so many memories to. So,
Yeah.
it's not everybody's cup of tea. I just associate it with just a really fun time, in my life.
Nice.
That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, you at those clubs.
Right?
Yeah.
I actually am surprised that wasn't a thing in like the Midwest, or I don't know if anywhere else in the country has this, where they open the doors for teens to come in and like had a nightclub for teens.
Vince.
Yeah.
Vince, we were playing Mario baseball in Andrew's room. What are you talking about?
I mean, this was definitely a thing that people did around here.
Yeah.
Maybe not us, but
Yeah. All right, very cool. My close well, let me go through my list real fast. Ready? All right, number 11 by Oasis, Mucky Fingers. Number 10, The White Stripes, Blue Orchid. Number 9, Rogue Wave, Eyes. Number 8, Feel Good Inc., Gorillaz. Number 7, I Summon You, Spoon, a criminally underrated band. Number 6, Center of the World, Portastic. Ryan Adams, Let It Ride. A Nervous Tick Motion of the Head, number 4 by Andrew Bird. Number 3, Concrete Bed by Not a Surf. Number 2, Crooked Teeth by Death Cab for Cutie. I guess it's not my definitive close call, but the next one here, Oh Mandy, the Spinto Band. Really great song. But my definitive close call is by a band I've already talked about, and you will know us by The Trail of Dead. The song is called Worlds Apart.
Hey, f*** you, man. Rock and roll. I say I don't know, does it matter? Listen and see, sound all the same to me.
Yeah, so it's like a hard song to put on because it's just so abrasive there at the start. But it's really catchy, really rocking. It's like a really tight kind of 2.5 minute song. That was like a song I needed at that moment, and it's every time I listen to it, it kind of both brings me back and I can appreciate it, with who I am now. So, Worlds Apart by Trail of Dead.
very cool.
Yeah. Ferguson's?
Oh yeah, my Ferguson is Pussycat Dolls, Don't Ya.
Oh, come on.
Song drove me crazy. Don't ya? Don't you wish ya?
Oh,
Yeah.
don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
Yeah.
Don't you?
God, that's a rude song.
Jam.
No, it's rude. Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
Hey,
Like maybe it's none of your business.
it is bizarre.
I don't know. I remember that song being great. Then again, I was experimenting with Red Bull and vodka at this time, but I thought that was a great song.
Here it comes. Don't ya? Don't ya's on.
Oh man. All right, Vince. Ferguson.
I don't know if I really have one, to tell you the truth. Let me think. I am put on the spot. Oh, I know what it is. I have one. Run It by Chris Brown. I couldn't stand that song. I couldn't stand it. Not the best, best pick, but that's the only thing that enters my mind is Run It by Chris Brown.
Yeah. Not great. Boy, there's so many bad songs.
I thought you were going to be like, oh, I love that song. What are you talking about?
There's so many bad songs this year. We have Sir, You Had a Bad Day. I take a word down. Daniel Powder. We got Sugar, We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy. We're going there.
Yeah.
But my definitive Ferguson is You're Beautiful by James Blunt. Man, the song just like haunted you in 2005. It was everywhere, every corner you turned. American Idol, like every contestant the entire season sang it. It was, and it's bad. Like I re-listened to it today, and it is a legitimately very bad song. It is
so bizarre how that type of thing happens. It's just like this inexplicable song that everyone seems to love, and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It's just
I feel like Bad Day and You're Beautiful were like these two songs that like came out at the same time. I'm like, are they're different? They're the same song, but they're different.
Yeah.
Like,
I
also marked down True by Ryan Cabrera. Don't like that song. Okay, do you want to hear some of our listeners' picks?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we got My Boo by Alicia Keys and Usher. That's Josh's pick. We have Enemy by Fozzy, Justin's pick. James likes Telescope Eyes by Isley. We have Martell picked Madonna, Hung Up. There you go, Vince.
There you go.
Damien picked Beverly Hills by Weezer.
All right.
I'm so sorry, Brody. He picked Sugar, We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy. Tim picked Go by Common. All right. Vaughn picked Photograph by Nickelback.
There's the Nickelback love.
Lacey picked Resolve by Foo Fighters.
Oh, that's a good one.
Kev picked 7-4 Shoreline by Broken Social Scene. Jordan picked Girl by Beck. Which is
I like that.
Yeah, great song.
That's a good one.
Allie picked Novelty Crosses by the Black Dahlia Murder. Clayton picked Destroy Everything You Touch by Lady Trend. Evelyn picked Mr. Brightside by The Killers. Shay picked Lying is the Most Fun a Girl Can Have Without Taking Off Her Clothes by Panic at the Disco.
Yes, that was everywhere.
Yeah. Nikki picked Home by 07. And I think those are the picks there. Nice.
I was expecting a Mariah Carey somewhere there, but
man,
or Missy Elliott, and I didn't hear it.
Because Mariah Carey had to be the biggest song, right?
Yeah. We Belong Together.
We belong.
That's Pat Bennett.
We belong together. Yes, we do. I don't know the Mariah Carey one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I know.
We belong together, baby.
All right, we got two categories here. We got two categories, and I'm going movie. I want to talk some films.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a weird year at the movies, but let's do it.
I'm going with Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
The Council wants you to report on all the Chancellor's dealings.
That's treason.
We are at war, Anakin.
Very dangerous putting them together. I don't think the boy can handle it. I don't trust him.
I need your help, son. I'm appointing you to be
my favorite of the prequel trilogy. I feel like this is just where things like really start taking off. Anakin just like killing all the Jedi. It just like gets heavy in this one. Yeah, I loved that one so much. So yeah, I got to give it to that.
I mean, I think this is crazy.
Okay. I mean, maybe there's a movie that I'm not aware of.
You're right. This is the best of the prequels for
Yeah.
sure. But I still don't know if it's a good movie.
Yeah, I really enjoy it.
Definitely out of the 3 prequels, I would definitely pick this one over the other 2.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sith. Interesting. All right. When's the last time you've watched it?
Oh, it's been some years. Still, I really like it.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, there's only one other movie this year that I think was like on a similar level, but we'll see what you guys have to say.
All right. Vince, what could challenge Revenge of the Sith? What do you got?
Oh, it's not going to be good. I'm telling you, you thought the music stuff was horrible for me? So, believe it or not, this is so cringeworthy, I'm going to admit this one. I am a huge fan of 2005's Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley.
He's here. Is he amiable? Is he handsome? He's single.
I believe so.
Oh my goodness! Everybody behave naturally.
Mr. Collins, at your service.
In an era when marrying a rich man was the most a woman could hope for, Elizabeth Bennet was way ahead of her time.
I singled you out as the companion of my future life.
Sir,
No. I'm not going to roast you.
So, I know everybody else will, but it's okay. But I stand by my pick. I read Pride and Prejudice in school. I grew up watching like the BBC version, and then I just loved the movie, the soundtrack, the cinematography, the cast. There was something about it that I just, it's like a feel-good movie. Like for 2 hours, it's nothing too crazy going on, and I just always liked it. So
Nice.
I'm gonna give it some love right now.
Hey, I've never seen it, so I can't make fun of it. But, but nice.
Yeah, I've also never seen it, but I know it's pretty well liked. Yeah. Cool. Well, my favorite movie of the year is by I think a great filmmaker. His name is Noah Baumbach. I picked The Squid and the Whale.
I've come by to tell you I'm not staying here anymore.
Why?
Because you cheated on Dad.
Your father told you.
Under our noses, like a brothel, men coming in and out.
You sound like your father.
I want to be a tennis pro like Ivan.
Ivan is a Philistine.
What's a Philistine?
It's a guy who doesn't care about books or interesting films and things.
Then I'm a Philistine.
No, you're interested in books and things.
No, I'm a Philistine.
And I've never had an affair with a student, though many have come on to me. That's why you might not want to be attached to your age.
When am I going to meet Sophie?
She's not gorgeous, but she's cute.
Did you like Sophie?
She's not the type I go for.
Lily is pretty.
My father said you had a weak handshake, which is a sign of indecision.
His hands are so huge, I can't get a good grip.
This is a pair of brothers living in Brooklyn, and they're kind of caught in the middle of their parents' really messy divorce. Their parents played by Jeff Daniels and Laura Linney. Just great performances from those two. You also have Jesse Eisenberg here, Anna Paquin. Yeah. And it's just kind of a low-key dramedy. I mean, like, it's a comedy for sure. Like, the stuff happening in this movie is insane. But it's also super sad because you kind of just see like what it's like when a family comes apart. And so, I think this is a very good movie. It's an hour and 20 minutes, so it's 80 minutes of your time if you're looking for kind of a fast watch. Love this movie.
That's a movie that I got for like super cheap somewhere, and it was sitting on my shelf forever, and I just never watched it.
Really?
Yeah. I think I kept reading the description, and it sounded so difficult to get through that I kept putting it off and just never.
Oh, it's really it's like it's Baumbach's humor. It's really dry, but it's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg in particular just has so many good storylines here in this movie. All right, close call.
My close call, I went with Batman Begins.
Storm's coming.
Scum is getting jumpy because you stood up to Falcone.
It's a start. Your partner was at the docks with Falcone.
He moonlights as a low-level enforcer.
They were splitting the shipment in two. Only half went to the dealers.
Why? What about the other half?
Flass knows.
He won't talk.
He'll talk to me.
Mission alone set up a massive task force to catch you. He thinks you're dangerous.
What do you think?
I think you're trying to help.
Sure.
Just like at the time when this came out, it was like a game changer.
Yeah.
You know, like there'd never been a comic book movie quite this powerful, I guess. Yeah, just like I loved it from the very beginning.
We saw this together, didn't we?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure we did, because I remember I think we saw it. Well, I won't say what theater, but I think we saw it together, and I remember being so confused because the first 40 minutes, like, there's just nothing Batman. Like, he's in Asia, he's like training.
Yeah.
And I remember just getting kind of antsy, like, is this a Batman movie, or like, what is going on here? Now, in retrospect, I like it. I liked what they were doing, building it. But I just remember the first experience being a little, I was like aggravated because I wanted Scarecrow. I knew Scarecrow was in the movie, and like maybe just not enough Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely loved that whole beginning section. The whole training thing. Like, it feels like it's a common anime thing. Like this like long training sequence. That just feels, I don't know, something I like about that, but
yeah. Okay, cool. That was also Kev's pick, Batman Begins.
Nice.
Yeah. Close call, Vince.
So I had a few movies written down. Obviously, this was the year for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Love that one.
Definitely,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite in the series, because now it like the first three were more. They had their scary moments, but it was more fun and lighthearted. But now here, like, Voldemort's back.
Yeah,
so I definitely can feel the change in the series now happening to a really darker place. So that's easily one of my favorites too.
And you got Robert Pattinson.
Sure.
Yeah, Mr. Twilight himself.
Breakout role.
And then we had The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that came out this year.
Yeah.
We had the King Kong remake.
Oh yeah.
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
What else I have? 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh yeah.
Exorcism of Emily Rose, which I saw in theaters, and I was not sleeping for the next few nights.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a close call, believe it or not, it was Memoirs of a Geisha.
I heard a message on the wind. So careless. You have ruined all our plans.
I did nothing.
Lisa, you do not insult me. I know the Baron better than that.
He gave me a kimono.
You sold yourself for a kimono.
I did not sell myself.
Today's the day I accept bids for your Mizuage. Well, what kind of price can I hope to demand with a finger pointed at your back?
Really? Okay. I've never seen that.
No,
I did read the book in anticipation of seeing it, because I was always interested in just like I said, history or like Japanese culture, and it was definitely the book is better than the movie, but the movie just has a certain like art form about it. The soundtrack is great. There was actually a lot of controversy with the cast because the cast are Chinese, and a lot of people felt they should have been Japanese actresses and actors. But it's actually Michelle Yeoh is in it.
Oh, cool.
She's great in that movie. There's Gong Li and there's Ji Zhang. And if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's really a good movie. And it definitely has a great. The ending is really good, but it's interesting watching this person because as Americans, our exposure to Japanese sometimes can be limited. So it's definitely interesting to see how their culture has changed over time, because the movie starts before World War II and then it ends at the end of World War II with the American invasion of Japan. So if you're interested in, just world history or Japanese, or just even if you want to call it a chick flick, definitely check it out.
Cool.
Vince, you know what I love about you?
What?
And I'm being 100% genuine. You're a man of culture. Like your picks are always surprising, never conventional, and I love that you really stand with them. and I think you should be applauded for that.
Well, thank you. I mean, I know my picks sometimes aren't always the most, popular choices, but, it is what it is. I'm not going to front and be like, oh, my favorite movie is Rent. Like, no, it's not. Members of the Geisha, it's Pride and Prejudice.
No, I love it. I mean it sincerely. I mean it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. My close call was a movie I saw on my first date post bad breakup. And the relationship didn't work, but this movie sure did. It's also Shay's pick. That's The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Well, we have something that should take your mind off things.
It won't work. I have an exceptionally large mind.
Yeah, we know, but, we need you to go down to the number 2 entry bay and pick up our stowaways and bring them up here.
Just that? I won't enjoy it.
Yeah, well, that's life.
Life? Don't talk to me about life.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. This movie is, I just love it so much. Sam Rockwell, Mos Def, what's his name? Martin Freeman. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just like Alan Rickman as the robot here is so good.
Yeah.
I think it's a really kind of underrated comedy. Obviously the book is a masterpiece. But I think they as far as adapting goes, I think they did a really good job.
Yeah. This is the next on my list.
Okay.
And I do love it. I love how it looks, especially I think the look of it, they really nailed.
Like the practical puppetry. I love that.
Yeah. Yes. And all the settings. I think they've just really got that right. I just I had been so familiar with the radio show and the book at this point that it was there was no way they were going to be able to pack everything in, but it maybe just didn't quite hit the exact tone that I want, or didn't hit all my favorite stuff maybe from the other formats. So it I had some little bit of disappointment, even though I think it was really good. I still missed a lot of the stuff that they didn't include.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was great.
I mean, that's understandable. Yeah. Cool. Any other movies you wanted to shout out, Andrew?
The Devil's Rejects came out this year. I think
that was Justin's pick.
Yeah. Nice.
That was crazy.
I think
That movie's crazy.
Still maybe the best Rob Zombie movie to me. Sin City came out this year. Maybe has aged not amazingly, but still a really cool looking, and it was really amazing at the time.
That's Damien's pick.
Nice. Constantine with Keanu Reeves.
Speaking of ageless.
Yeah. Seriously.
Can we just say that Keanu Reeves, we love you?
Yeah,
I think he's one of the most down to earth celebrities, if you want to call him a celebrity. He's just down to earth.
Yeah.
And
has nailed in my mind multiple different types of roles. I've loved him in many different types of things.
I mean, if you look at his 90s career, I think people are oh, Matrix, John Wick, action movies, but his 90s career is independent, weird movies. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I know he gets criticized for his role in Dracula with Gary Oldman, but
that's justified.
It is justified, but I actually really do like him though in Devil's Advocate later.
Yes,
for sure.
I mean, that's another role. Sometimes you find the haters on him for, but you know what? He has a great filmography, and I've actually had the pleasure of meeting him once in the city. He was on the subway.
Whoa!
And he is just a nice, all-around individual. He doesn't think like other celebrities would, they wouldn't be caught dead riding the subway.
Yeah.
But he is just an average, American guy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
really cool. Yeah. Also want to mention House of Wax, the remake horror movie that came out this year. That was like
that's on my.
Go ahead.
That's on. It's number 8 on my list.
Oh, whoa, nice.
Love it. Yeah.
Poor Paris Hilton got it.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, she's okay in it. Like,
yeah, and crazily, like that was the weirdest part is that she appeared in it. Besides that, it's like it's a bizarrely like really good horror movie that seemed like it was going to be terrible.
Yeah, agreed.
But it looks so cool. The final like melting house at the end.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah.
I think once people realized she was in it, it's almost like people were judging it before they really saw it.
Yeah.
But then once you sit through it, you're like, you know what? For a remake, I thought it was a great watch.
Yeah, for sure. Also wanted to mention Waiting, the Ryan Reynolds comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Skeleton Key is kind of a somewhat under the radar horror movie, I think, with Kate Hudson. It's like about what's it called, voodoo. Just a cool horror movie. Also, this is weird, but a second year in a row for me for Jimmy Fallon movies, Fever Pitch.
You like Fever Pitch?
Yeah, I don't know exactly why.
It's such garbage.
Okay, all right, fine. I mean,
Vince, Fever Pitch, any opinion?
That's the one with Drew Barrymore, right?
Yeah.
Boston Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Trash. But I can't judge. Look at my two picks. I can't judge Andrew.
Memoirs of a Geisha was an Oscar-nominated film.
Yeah, that's like a legitimately good movie, or recognized as a good movie. Finally, just got to give a shout out to Jiminy Glick in La La World.
Yeah,
Jiminy Glick movie.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Vince, any other ones you want to shout out?
I mean, I kind of shouted them up before. I do want to give a shout out to again, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, because that was also a date night movie for me. Let's see, it was me, this girl I wanted to ask out. We went to the movies. There was a bunch of friends, and we have a local theater, so pretty much, a good majority of your class was there that night on a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, oh, it's an exorcism movie. It's going to be fun. We're going to be laughing, and by the end of it, we all had tears in our eyes and we were screaming our heads off. When you watch it now, it still has its moments, but seeing it in the theater, I guess as a 15, 16-year-old who lives with Catholic guilt, we didn't sleep that night. That relationship didn't last long because I guess she figured, oh, well, I'm next to the guy. He'll be strong. No, we were screaming right there with you.
Hey, Vince, you got the Catholic guilt too?
Every day of my life.
Yeah.
I forgot it was Lent a few weeks ago, and I never heard the end of it.
Message me. We'll work through it together, man.
Okay, good. I need a support system.
Yeah.
I'll just mention that I did see that movie in the theater also. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it was all fun and games until she started, that scene in the barn.
Yeah.
Where she started contorting herself and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like, that's it. Get this movie off the screen.
Well, some of my picks, King Kong was a big deal to me. I mean, Chris has roasted me over and over about this. I saw it we had a cheap theater next to our college. It was like $5, $3 to go to a movie. So I saw King Kong like 3 or 4 times. I was really into Jack Black. I was really into Peter Jackson. I loved the original King Kong, Adrian Brody. It's just like a good mixture of things going on here. And so I saw that a lot. It doesn't really hold up, but Thumbsucker was a movie I really liked. Speaking of Keanu Reeves, he makes a kind of a great cameo in Thumbsucker. Goblet of Fire, I think, is the best Harry Potter film. Just kind of stands by itself. Fun action flick. The Descent. Tim also picked this. Great horror film. The Descent.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. I didn't realize it came out this year, but very good. Good call.
Really holds up. It's a really freaky movie. War of the Worlds. I just rewatched this.
No.
Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise. It rocks. I mean, it rocks so hard. I don't even want to hear about it. War of the Worlds rocks. Tom Cruise playing an incompetent dad, so relatable.
That wasn't acting, by the way, on Tom Cruise.
I just love that film. And then the other one, this would be like, oh, go ahead.
Before you move on, I'll just say I do like Tim Robbins making an appearance in there.
That is the only bad part of the movie.
That's maybe the highlight for me.
He's bad. He's doing this weird New England accent. No, it's bad.
No worse than the movie.
Oh, much worse. And then my definitive, like, next to close call, my number 3 here, also James's pick, a great documentary called The Devil and Daniel Johnston, about the musician Daniel Johnston. It kind of tracks his life and, his struggles throughout his life. Daniel was, in several ways suffering from ailments. And so he was a kind of a great songwriter, wrote really raw kind of 4-track songs that a lot of then famous people kind of caught on to. I think, he kind of blew up because Kurt Cobain would often wear his, hi, how are you shirt. And, but I really love his stuff. And this movie really like brought him to life. It's a really creative, cool documentary. Have you seen that one, Andrew?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Very
cool.
Good.
Yeah. Ferguson's?
My Ferguson, there was really no question for me personally. It had to be Son of the Mask. After 11
not
years.
Jamie Kennedy.
Oh my God. I loved the original Mask when it came out. So good. 11 years later. And like shortly after the first Mask came out, they had these like preview posters, like the Mask 2 is coming. Like, oh my gosh. Over a decade later, we get just this bizarre, like, they're just like pushing into the wrong direction. Everything about it is annoying. I couldn't have been less enthused.
Yeah, in all honesty, I've never sat and watched it. I just love the concept of it existing.
No, it's no good. The best part about it was the preview poster was like this silver, weird, like reflective silver poster with just the mask in the middle. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing.
The best part was the credits.
Boy. All right. Ferguson, Vince?
I wrote down Son of the Mask too. Yeah, the disappointment I felt watching that movie after waiting for so long. Pretty sure I saw that in theaters because I'm pretty sure I asked for my money back after it.
Wow.
They're like, no, you sat through it. I'm like, well, fucked. Like, but I also want to give a Ferguson too. Believe it or not, a Disney sequel, and that's going to get Mulan too.
Yeah, sure.
I got stuck watching that with my cousins. We were big fans of the first Mulan. We thought, Disney sequels, some of them are good, some of them are bad. How bad could this one be? It was bad.
Yeah. Truly, like, bizarre, the direction they take with some of those sequels. It's like, they had this, like, really kind of heartfelt or, like, emotional first movie, and then they just, like, take it in some crazy cartoony direction for the sequel. Like, what is
and obviously the animation's more subpar, the soundtrack's not as good. It's just pure cash grabs.
Yeah.
Come on, Disney, bring out you can do it. You can do good sequels. Come on, you've done it in the past.
Well, guys, it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. Have you watched it in these last years?
No, I absolutely have not watched it in the last few years. God. It was a sterile, cold, humorless, just not fun, unimaginative take.
Unimaginative?
Gene Wilder. Yeah.
The first Willy Wonka.
You don't even know.
It's almost like a horror movie. Like half of it.
Yeah. This is
like
a masterpiece.
I like it a lot, but I also like this.
Okay, well, It was tied with Bewitched, which I thought was a terrible revisioning.
Sure.
But
I kind of liked Bewitched.
No, the Nicole Kidman Will Ferrell thing.
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
They botched it. They tried to jazz up the story too much by like making it like a movie about Bewitched. It was just so convoluted. Anyway, those movies stunk. But let's talk about what movies people like. Josh liked Coach Carter.
Hey, you know what?
What's
I was
up?
going to mention I got somebody traded in a Coach Carter DVD and it came with a Coach Carter beanie. Got to wear that for a few years. Just wanted to mention that.
Very cool. Andrew, you mentioned it. Martell shouted out Waiting.
Nice.
The last good movie Ryan Reynolds made. Revenge of the Sith was Brody's pick, Andrew.
Nice.
Yeah. Colin picked Green Street Hooligans. Lacey, Nikki, and Vaughn picked Elizabethtown.
Oh, yeah. I've actually seen that.
Which is Cameron Crowe, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Have to check that out. Allie picked Cinderella Man. Great kind of historical drama. I like that one too. Jordan picked Thank You for Smoking. A very quirky, funny movie. Yeah. And Clayton picked Good Night and Good Luck. The George Clooney directed historical drama. Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
Number one movie, Andrew?
Yeah. Any guess? You can guess. It's guessable.
Harry Potter?
No, not Harry Potter, surprisingly.
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
No. I mean...
40-Year-Old Virgin?
No. It's a big one. It's a big one.
I don't know.
Big blockbuster. Star Wars, of course.
Oh, of course.
Oh. Well, we knew it wasn't Charlie and the freaking Chocolate Factory. Yeah, not to backtrack, but I agree with Joey on that one, though. It was a disappointing movie.
You know what, guys? Look up that squirrel scene. Incredible.
I am going to look it up. Okay, we got one more category. Interesting events. Let's do it.
Yeah. My top had to go to the founding of YouTube.
Yeah.
Just, the world was different after that. Incredible to have this ability to have like just little clip. I mean, just having the access to like my favorite Simpsons clips when they pop into mind that would make the top event. So yeah, YouTube, incredible.
Yeah, this is, I'll just say now that it's my close call.
Sure.
But like YouTube is so interesting because I think there's so much we could point to with technology and the internet that's like been toxic to society. Yeah. And YouTube has its dark corners, but I think generally it's been one of the better uses of the internet.
Yeah.
You can actually be creative, you can get information, you can get access to the world kind of in a peaceful way. It seems like maybe the best of, what was being offered.
Yeah, for sure.
It was also Damien, Kev, Clayton, and Nikki's pick for event.
Nice. And, just being able to like find these ultra obscure moments that you are thinking about some random day, and then to be able to like access this whole comments from other people thinking about this ridiculous like commercial from 25 years ago. It's
like
really amazing.
Like when Andrew's at my house on New Year's and I say, you know what? I really want to watch Bump in the Night, School's Out. We could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Vince, event.
Yeah, I definitely mentioned YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could you say? I mean, similar to what Andrew said. I mean, I'll think of something, I'll type it in, and then it's like all these other people have the same recollections I do. I mean, and you enter, like, YouTube is dangerous in the fact that I'll start searching for one thing, and it's the biggest rabbit hole I'll ever spend on the internet.
Yeah.
And then you start getting into other things, like if you type in, North Korean documentaries, you are going down such a rabbit hole of YouTube that just be careful out there, guys. I mean, YouTube is dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, so that YouTube is yours.
That's it, YouTube.
Okay. Well, before I even get to mine, let's just get it out of the way because people have been waiting all episode.
It's time for your Dino Count.
Nice. Finally.
Folks, it's a pretty good year. Not our best year, but on the records, we got 35 dinosaurs discovered in 2005. We got the Appalachiosaurus. We got the Oroceratops. We got the Condoraptor. We got the Lanzahosaurus, just to name 4 out of the 35. Pretty good dino year, not the best, but I think pretty respectable. This gets one claw out of 2 for me.
Wow. Okay. It's out of 2. Good. Yeah, that's very cool. It's so. God. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying here. I'm just saying it's crazy. We're on a planet and there was other species, these weird other reptilian species millions of years ago. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, the Coopers, yeah.
This whole world is weird.
I just sometimes I wonder if it's all we should be thinking about.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking on that whole, like, now I'm gonna start having paranoid anxiety attacks. Like, wow, we're floating on a rock in the middle of nowhere. There's new dinosaurs being discovered. Like, I can't go there. What's out there? What I can't go there. I can't do.
Let your brain do it.
Oh, I can't go there.
I think it's healthy. All right. Well, I went personal. YouTube's the right pick, but my personal experience was like it's my trivia fact in life, I guess. It's just like, it's the thing that happened to me that it's like, hey, what's something interesting that happened to you? And it's my thing. And I've talked about it on the podcast before, but in October of 2005, me and some friends went to the Kaiser Chiefs Foo Fighters Weezer show in Cleveland. And essentially, long story short, I got to go on stage and play Undone the Sweater Song with Weezer.
Let's break it down, just be a joke.
Does exist of this, even though the iPhone had not been invented yet. Some very nice person I did not know, took a video with their flip phone of the entire event, found me through the Weezer boards and messaged it to me, so I still have it. It unfortunately gets cut off about like 2.5 minutes into the song, which is about 4 minutes, but I like really treasure that. Go ahead.
That's probably like the maximum amount of recording time on the phone at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, right at the end of the video, you hear, because they're right near the stage, and I think someone was crowd surfing, and because you hear someone go, help! And the video just cuts out.
That's pretty perfect.
Yeah. And then I got off stage, and I went to hand the guitar to the guitar tech, and he went, nope, it's yours. And then I asked for a set list, and then I had this guitar, and then I got to see Dave Grohl, who was like kind of backstage, and he gave me a high five and said, good job. It was a really just like a cool night. And I still got that guitar. It's not in great shape, but I have it.
Wow.
Not in great shape.
Well, it's just, I don't really like the guitar, honestly. Like, I'm really grateful they gave it to me, but I don't enjoy playing it. So it just sits in a case now.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to play the guitar with world-class musicians, and I was fist pumping, drinking Georgie vodka. Clearly, you won 2005. You clearly won it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right moment to pick.
Yeah.
If that happens to you.
Yeah, it's really like the stuff, like, for a kid who plays guitar, it's like kind of the stuff you like literally dream about at night.
Yeah.
Like, what if I got to play with my favorite band on stage?
Let me ask you this. Like, afterward, were you like, what do I do now? Is there any part of you that's like, that at the time was like, how do I move forward from this?
You know, the way my brain works, maybe it's part of that Catholic guilt, is like I don't allow myself to like get very excited for too long about anything. Like my brain goes like, move on, it's over. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So there was that immediate adrenaline rush of like seeing our friends like Chris or whoever in the hallway, Jim, and just like this moment of like, what the hell just happened? And I'm holding the guitar and they're like, you got to do something with it. And I'm like trying to figure out how to get it to my car. It was just like a very big adrenaline rush. And then of course them being guys, they're like, dude, you can get any girl tonight. Like you can get any, I'm like, I just got to get this guitar to my car. I can't even think about that. And then also Foo Fighters hadn't started yet. So I'm like, and I genuinely want to see Foo Fighters. So, you know, I think most guys may have cashed in differently. I enjoyed a great Foo Fighters set and I think I went home. You know, someone I think from Cleveland Magazine reached out to talk to me. That was kind of like, you know, the big thing. And then Carl, who runs the Weezer site, reached out. But that was it. It was like a day or two of like real high thrill. And then, you know, back to school.
Yeah. Nice.
That's fun.
I'm a little envious. I wish I could play the guitar.
Oh, you can. It's not too late.
I'm kind of
Vince. Some of the stupidest people in the world can play guitar. And that's not.
Yeah,
saying
what if I fail at it? See what that does to my mind.
No, what I'm saying is you're way too smart to fail at it. Like I guarantee, if you gave it like 3 weeks of dedicated concentration, you'd be playing a song.
All right. I mean, I do play an instrument, so maybe it will help me. But you know, if I tell you the instrument I play, you're gonna go, "Wow, you cultured man, you."
Violin?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Are you the lurker?
I mean, yeah.
I've been playing violin since 3rd grade, so I guess that's what, like 25 years or some crazy number?
What I said before stands even stronger. Vince, you are a man of... You surprise me.
All right, so I'll have to pick up the guitar, and then when I fail, I'll smash it and then call it a day.
So, Vince, can you still play the violin? Are you competent?
Yeah. I actually lost my violin in Hurricane Sandy, believe it or not.
Wow.
Just never picked it up again. But when I see music, like your fingers just know how that would play on the violin.
Yeah. That's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I would love to try guitar and piano. I never tried those.
Yeah, I think if you can do violin, you could do guitar. Piano's a little trickier, but yeah. Cool. Awesome. Close calls?
My close call was the Deep Impact Space Probe being launched.
Probe.
And a big part of this is that it shared its name with the 1998 Morgan Freeman, Elijah Wood blockbuster, supposedly by accident or a coincidence. I don't buy it, but
that's a depressing movie.
Yeah.
Vince, close call.
I mean, it's kind of depressing though. I just thought of Hurricane Katrina, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean it's a big event.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the first time I really ever watched a storm like forming and then watched it hit. And then of course came all the backlash, you know, after Hurricane Katrina, as we know, with, you know, Kanye's situation, he always seems to be in trouble. I don't know what he does, but he's always making headlines. And I just remember, you know, seeing people on their roofs and the flooding and the fires and the levee's giving way, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm watching this on live TV, and people are actually dying right now.
Yeah.
So it definitely, not a great chapter in our history of world history or weather history or even American history, but I'm getting tired of living through these rare events that are only supposed to occur once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
I feel like every year, it's like 7 of these now.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. Katrina's a big one. Let's see here. Shay picked Hurricane Katrina. Said on a personal note, I moved out on my own for the first time as well. Lacey said she visited New Orleans for the first time less than a month before Katrina hit.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it was a big deal. My pick was YouTube. We already talked about that.
Oh yeah.
Justin said he changed his major senior year of college.
Wow.
James and Vaughn mentioned that Liverpool comes back from 3 goals down to beat AC Milan in the Championship League.
Whoa.
You guys are excited about it or what? Crickets over here.
I mean, anytime somebody beats Italians, I'm not going to be happy about it.
But it's Liverpool. No, that sounds cool. Three goals down. We can relate. Cavs coming back 3-1 over the Warriors.
Sure.
Same vibes. Brody says Disneyland turns 50.
Wow.
So just some things people shouted out there. Do you guys have any Ferguson events?
I just picked Hurricane Katrina as the big deal. Took over the world at that point, or our country.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a huge
there was a lot
catastrophe
of horrible stuff that summer of 2005 in terms of world events.
Yeah.
Katrina. I think there was also the bombings in London in July that year, and the wars that were going on. It wasn't exactly the best year for that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, kind of a lot of turmoil going on in the country, and But
I got the fist pump.
We got the fist pump. We got YouTube. We got some new dinosaurs. It's not all a loss. And guess what else we got?
A
sports recap.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, whoa.
Let's do it, folks. Cue that NBA on NBC Music. We got the San Antonio Spurs winning the NBA championship over the Detroit Pistons 4-3. In the World Series, we got the Chicago White Sox sweeping the Houston Astros 4-0. Mm-hmm. The Super Bowl that year is played, and the New England Patriots defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21. And I thought this was really interesting. I didn't remember this, but there was no Stanley Cup that year. There was a lockout that lasted 10 months, covering 1,230 unplayed games. And as a result, the Stanley Cup was not awarded for the first time since 1919.
That should have been my Ferguson.
No Stanley Cup?
I'm a big NHL guy.
Who's your team?
New York Rangers is my
Rangers,
team.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Ranger guy.
Okay. They were good, right? That was that would have been a good era for them, right?
We got killed by New Jersey that year. That's
okay. All right, sorry.
Come on, Joey.
Sorry. Well, at least there was no Stanley Cup. Okay. So a little bit about sports, and that rounds out the year 2005. How you guys feeling?
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. The events really crushed our spirits.
What? YouTube? Me playing with Weezer? Dinosaurs?
No, that's true. just that final block. But no, it was, it was a good year, I think, overall.
Cool.
Pretty cool stuff.
I don't know. I just don't like getting older now. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
18 years is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, 2006, we'll cover it soon, and let's see who's up. I think Manny is going to talk to us about 2006, so that'll be fun once we get there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Andrew, what do we have next?
Next time we're going to talk our Salute Your Short Season 2 rankings with our buddy John. Patreon
yes.
follower, John. Yeah.
Much love to John. Yeah, a fun idea. We did season 1 with Justin. And it was fun just to rewatch and kind of get a feel. And I think season 2 is even more of a roller coaster. Season 1 there's a lot of highs and not a lot of lows.
Yeah. Season 2 things really change.
Yeah, it's a little more up and down. So that'll be a fun discussion. Yeah. And then of course we're also on Patreon right now. We have 6 episodes that have been posted to Patreon. We started with our M. Night Shyamalan Hall of Fame. We had the Tale of Old Man Corcoran, favorite villains, our Oscar episode, our Saturday Night Live draft, which was really fun. And we had, of course, this last week, the classic, The Tale of the Last Dance with Vaughn, who we didn't shout out at the beginning, but man, it was really her idea to do a drunk podcast. And it was, of course, her wish, I think, to talk Last Dance, and it just ended up being such a blast.
Yeah.
So if you're not on Patreon, we have 2 tiers. $5 will get you all those episodes. It gives you access to everything. $14 gives you access plus the option, like John did here, to request an episode with us. You can come on, you can request episodes, you get a free t-shirt, plus other merch eventually coming. So hopefully people are enjoying their Patreon experience.
Yeah.
In the meantime, if you want to get a hold of us, we're on Twitter at BOC Podcast, Instagram at Orange Couch Podcast. You can email us at orangecouchpodcast@gmail.com. You can hear us on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Patreon, anywhere you get your podcasts. And Vince, very happy to have you on for 2005. You surprised us as always, but honestly, in the best way.
Well, I just love being back. It's always fun catching up with you guys. And if anybody out there likes Pride and Prejudice, let me know. If you don't, I go scratch.
Well, Vince, you did swear a couple times, so I think you're due for a couple Hail Marys.
Oh, yeah. See, I gotta go do that now. There's the guilt.
Yep. I couldn't let you off.
It's supposed to be my support system, not the enforcement.
Sorry, my bad. Swear it up, buddy.
Shit.
Great time. And we hope we'll see all you geishas next episode.
Magic is lost, 'cause you had a bad day. You take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie. You were gonna smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day, you see what you like, and how does it feel? One more time, you had a bad day. You had a bad day. WART Ward Radio, Wellsville.
No, I'm just gonna sit here and dream of pasta.
Do you have a favorite noodle?
Definitely ravioli.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they're all good. You're not going to say one where I'm going to be like, "What the?" Is there one you don't like?
Believe it or not, I'm not crazy about spaghetti.
Really? Just like a straight spaghetti?
It's got to be a certain, it has to be just cooked a certain way.
Yeah.
It can be like,
yeah. There's a lot of room
spaghetti
to
with
fuck up.
olive oil and garlic, but I don't go crazy for spaghetti and meatballs.
Ah, okay. Yeah. No meatballs at all, or you toss them in something else?
I'll usually just have them on the side.
Okay.
Yeah. Not as adventurous, I guess.
Are you a marsala guy? You like marsala?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We're gonna start the Italian food podcast a little bit.
Yeah. Today's episode: veal parmesan.
Oh my god, please! My family too. Like majority of my family is just first generation Italian American. So
Yeah.
like if they put something in front of you and you don't want to eat it, they look at you like you're crazy. Like no, you're eating it. Like
Yeah, I was raised in that house. I get it.
You get it.
Yep.